Hello guys, thank you so much for joining me again for this new episode number 14 of our CQRS course inside of our web API project developed using ASP.NET Core and controllers. So in the previous episode, we implemented a behavior which is responsible for implementing the logging thing, which is like a cross-cutting concern. So something that is going to be used inside of our whole application. This is why we are calling this a cross-cutting concern. So this is not like one concern like data access. No, it is a cross-cutting concern. It's a concern that we need to have throughout the whole application, right? And because we do not want to duplicate a lot of code, we have decided to introduce a behavior using the MediatR library. And in this episode, you will see how we can use that, behavior. So if you haven't watched the previous video, I'm sure that you have already realized that what we are going to do in this episode is closely related to our work in the previous episode. So make sure you watch that as well. Let's move to our notes. I've got my project here as well. We're going to talk about the things that we need to do. So yeah, this is our episode 14 notes. In order to make use of our behavior, we need to register it in our DI container, in our dependency injection container in our program.cs. And this is how we are going to do this. If you take a look, we are going to register our behavior, logging behavior, as you can see here, with add transient lifetime, right? And then we are going to say for type iPipeline behavior without type parameters, I'm going to tell you what this means. We want to resolve this dependency using this type that we created in the previous episode, logging behavior. So if you take a look at my code, I think I need to go to branch 14. Yes. So this is the registration of this logging. So back to my notes. We use builder services at transient type of something and something, iPipeline behavior, logging behavior, to register the logging behavior. This syntax signifies that this behavior can be applied to any request and response type. We use add transient because a new instance of the behavior should be created for each request in the pipeline. So I hope you've already familiar with pipelines, with dependency injection, add transient, and things, because these are the fundamentals of ASP.NET Core. If you're not familiar with these topics, please watch some of my other courses in order to better familiarize yourself with these different topics. So now to test the logging behavior, we need to run the application, right? We need to send a GET request to one of the endpoints, like for example, the endpoint that is going to return all employees. And then inside of the output window, right, we are going to see the logging that our behavior is going to produce for us. So you should see log messages similar to the following in the output window. So this is the name of the application. This is the first log that we are going to create using our behavior, which starts with the word handling. And then this is our next log message, which is going to be implemented using the next log message of inside of our behavior with the word handled at the very beginning. So this output confirms that our logging behavior was executed before and after the get employee query handler was invoked. We didn't need to modify our existing requests or handlers. This is the beauty of using, this is the beauty of using behaviors. The reason is that we didn't have to make any changes to our requests or handlers. We do not want to, for example, go to our handlers and add the logging here or here, right? Why? Because this is a cross-cutting concern. regardless of the handler, which is going to, handle the request or the command or whatever, we want that logging to happen, which is why we implemented this as a behavior and we have registered it inside of our program.cs. So the beauty, as I told you, is that the code inside of your handlers can stay untouched, and behaviors provide a clean and concise way to handle cross-cutting concerns throughout your application. Behaviors can also handle things like authorization, validation, using something like Fluent validation and other common tasks. But before we wrap up this video, what I want to do is to run this, send a GET request, and see the output window. So I'm gonna put this here, gonna run the application. Okay, I'm gonna come here, output, I'm gonna pin this guy, and then I'm gonna send a GET request. So take a look here. Take a look here. This is the logging behavior in place. So it is logging 2 log messages. Handling, this is the name of the query that is going to get handled, and this is the next log message, handled list 1. So this is of course printed here because this is a generic list. So if I go to my behavior one more time, you see that this is using log information to log the message, right? And of course it is handling, right? It is handling type of request. Type of request, that name is what? It is get employee query. And handled type of response name. Type of response is a list generic, is a generic list of employees. So this is how logging is implemented using behaviors inside of our application. And that is it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If that's the case, as before, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to watch the upcoming videos as well. We still have a couple of videos left. I'm going to talk about unit testing and integration testing using CQRS and the MediatR library. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next episode.